Hey guys, it's Tuesday morning on the Lovin Dubai show. We spoke about the fake Schengen visa agencies, what Virgin Mobile had to say after that power outage, and this amazing community group and what they've done for workers in the UAE.
And so if you are not subscribed to the Lovin Dubai show podcast and missed the episode, subscribe to the Lovin Dubai show podcast wherever you get your podcast from, and enjoy the show.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. It's travel season. And our top story for you today is the fake Schengen visa agencies, which are targeting UAE residents.
Virgin Mobile as well says we're really sorry following their power outage.
And Dubai trials the world's first 3D-Printed public Abras.
As the community group sends fifth bus of workers to Umrah.
We're super excited. It's Tuesday, which means we've got Mr. Golden Visa back in the hot seat talking all things visa updates and emerging visa types that you may not already know about. It's an interesting one, so please stay tuned for that.
It's 283 days since the genocide began on October 7 in Gaza, and the current death toll stands at 38,584, and the number of injured people is 88,881, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
In today's rapid weather report, it's humid out, and we're hitting highs of 43 degrees Celsius. Stay hydrated out there. A stat is burning our ears this morning, based on college degrees.
So, 49% of Americans believe that we don't need a college degree for a high-paying job. When I don't agree with that at all.
Watching the show right now, a quick yes or no. Do you think you need a degree to get a high-paying job?
I think, honestly, that when you go to university, your mind is still, our minds are like, I would say...
Sponges.
Sponges, exactly. Sponges
right.
And mold. And by the age of like 18, or let's say in the case of like, let's say 16, 17, 18, right? When you want to go to university, your brain is still grasping onto information, whether it's from your parents, whether it's from the people that surround you, and so on. And we have this famous saying that says, you are who you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
So if in the 4 years you're surrounding yourself by, let's say in our case, journalism and writing and creative stuff, your brain gets molded to that. So by the age of like 23, 25, your brain is set on that.
Okay, so to play devil's advocate, you're 18, you want to have fun. And in some cases, these college degrees are costing across the board. So you've got to pay for the tuition, maybe. You may need to pay for accommodation. You could, and if it's an expensive uni in another country, you could be paying up to, what, $50,000 over 4 years?
Yes.
Now, if you're 18... and your brain hasn't molded itself to the mature, responsible adult that you may become. And if you don't know what you want to do, so I think some people are quite lucky at 18 to go into a profession that they will stick with for the rest of their lives. So what if you go into journalism and it's an absolute waste of 4 years? I agree with you that we do need degrees. However, I think the tide is changing in terms of the value of education versus what we gain from it after. I think it's good to continue schooling, but university education is so expensive. And if you're not going to go into a degree, it may not, if you actually weigh out the benefit versus value, it may not actually... You may pay more for what you get back.
I agree with you, 100%. University is so expensive, and if my university is watching, you guys made me pay a lot. But I swear. However, like what the amount that you're paying at university, you're investing it in yourself. Because then later on, the degree is so important. Because a lot of professions will be like, yeah, we would have paid you higher, but we want a degree. And you might be good at what you do. You might be good at a lot of things. But would you trust a doctor who's not wearing the right?
A doctor is so different.
Yes, but still.
Like 100% teachers, but people are saying, no, it's not worth it. I really value the fact that I have a degree because I don't think I would have gotten my first job, which domino effect leads you here. But that's not on the education system, that's on the employers. And if employers were to take a more holistic view of the person's education and not just look as a degree as a checklist mark, that's the problem. The problem is when you hand in your CV, if you don't have a degree, and then there's this master's fight of like, oh, now you need a master's to get a job, and they're beyond expensive. So it's if employers took a different view to education, then the whole system could change. But until they do that, I think we still will always encourage our kids to go and get the degrees because that's the way the job market is.
100%. I mean, I am so pro-degree. I think, honestly, personally, like really, for real, you guys, getting a degree will not only give you credibility, it will as well, I would say, like mold your brain. And you might not know what you want to do, as you said at the beginning. However, if you don't know what to do, that's why you can get like a year, I would say, of like not doing anything till you figure out what you want to do. And
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why at university, at school, they do give us, at my school, they would give us like a career day. So we can figure out what we would want to do. And you can talk about it. You can think about it. Like, for example, at university, I went to university as I wanted to be a journalist.
Right.
And I'm lucky enough, I wanted to be a journalist ever since I was 7. I'm so stubborn that I wanted to be a journalist ever since I was 7. However, when I went to university, till that point, I thought it's an impossible dream. But my professors were actual journalists. And in my head, I'm like, so this can be real and this can be my reality.
That's inspiring.
So if I work and if I do the homework, I can be like them. You know what I mean? And some other people, joined journalism or even other, I would say, careers like engineering and so on because maybe their parents forced them or maybe because they thought there would be nothing or they thought that would make them more money, which can not be the case. People think that would make them more money. It's not the case. They don't really, I would say, be doing well right now. They're not really doing amazing right now.
Lots to think about.
Yes.
But I think you were quite lucky in the fact that you knew what you wanted to do because so many of us are still figuring it out. No, I think you're lucky. But I think that age-old question, and it's something that we know students probably fight with their parents with, and I know I certainly did. But thank you, Mammy, for making me continue my degree. I'm glad I finished. At the end of the day, let's jump into our top story today. We're talking Schengen visas.
Well, fake Schengen visa agencies target UAE residents. Of course, you guys know it's travel season, and while everyone, including me, wants to travel, apply for visas, and so on, some residents have been a target of fake Schengen visas agencies. And in light of that, a representative at VSF Global urges travelers to beware of fraudulent, third-party entities posing as VFS global staff or partners who offer appointments or assured visas for free.
So take note, if you're planning that getaway, be vigilant. Scammers are everywhere. With the demand for Schengen visas soaring during peak times, these fake agencies are taking advantage of your hard-earned dirhams. While summer and winter traditionally were the peak travel periods, now what we're seeing in the last 2 years is consistent travel demand year-round.
Well, you guys, of course, according to a VSF global spokesperson, he said that, he is urging people not to actually trust anyone and to actually visit the actual website for a destination, for the destination of the country, and to understand the required category documents and rules to prepare for their applications. And of course, appointments are released and reflect in real time in the website. So just don't trust anyone who tells you that, hey, we are a VFS visa agency and we're going to help you get a Schengen visa, because you might get scammed, which was the case with a lot of residents at this point.
Yeah, right. It's the conversation that just keeps on tumbling this entire summer, because we know that loads of you have a lot of wait times, and then what it looks like, these agencies are able to get the bookings. That's the kind of perception. So people are going into these agencies. However, it's some of the agencies are actually scam websites. Some of the comments that have come through asking why the tourism companies allowed to get these places. Someone said they lost 9,000 dirham with one tourism company. That could have been a scam. That's what we're talking about. So the key point, direct from the horse's mouth, is take care when choosing. And what they say is do well in advance, go on to the specific country website and apply there, and just give yourself a lot of time, because as they said, it is a consistent travel period. There's no more ebbs and flows. It's just a consistent, we're busy all the time. So try and plan as much in advance as you can, which we know is kind of frustrating to hear, but that's the message.
Yes. I agree with you. And by the way, it's very easy to trust those agencies, because when you want to travel and you book your leave and so on, you go like, oh my God, I can trust agencies. And as well, because the fact that you live in the UAE, so it's very easy to be like, yeah, I live in Dubai. It's very easy. It would never have that fake. But you guys, like scam has been everywhere. We've seen scam in different forms, whether it's through your email, whether it's through your phone,
exactly.
Whether it's as well, like when you want to buy something online, you guys can get scammed. So when we say stay vigilant, not only when you are like receiving emails or getting a ticket or so on, but as well when you are applying for visas, because visas can be very tricky at that point, and the person might just like run away and your person, you might not get your money back.
Yeah, really important. Stay vigilant. We're going to jump into our next story. We're talking about this power outage yesterday. Virgin Mobile says, we're really sorry. So yesterday, a power outage left Virgin Mobile users without service. The users said they were unable to make calls, use data, or access the app, and they basically didn't know what was going on. The service was reportedly out for 3 hours.
Well, in response to that, the app posted, we're aware that our customers have been experiencing issues with our network this morning. Our tech guys have been working really hard to restore the service. We see data traffic now working on our network, and we are working really hard to get the rest of the services up and running as quickly as possible.
And as you can imagine, some people were okay with this, and others were not. So Ahmed Gardaka, he spread positivity, saying, I have had 5 years with Virgin, no single issue. I totally understand that you guys are working hard to bring back the service. Thank you, Virgin Mobile. What a nice thing to say. Then Nasfir said, being a salesperson, my entire work life came to a standstill on Monday morning. And Mohammed Saeed, he said something similar, basically saying, work on compensation for your users. It was really embarrassing not being able to call clients and work just using WhatsApp. We have our comments open, so if anyone's watching and if they were affected by the power outage yesterday, we'd just love to know, like, how much does using a phone affect your work? How reliant are you on your phone? And if you were affected, like, what did that mean for your business yesterday morning?
You know what? I just want to be like, why are people so mean? Because, like, of course, whether you guys use the Virgin Mobile SIM card or whether you use any other SIM cards, it must have lagged in a way. I had my phone and my SIM card lag in so many ways, and we are just want to say something. You guys are only pissed off because you guys are so much on your phone. Literally, we use our phones a lot.
Right, but I kind of agree to disagree, because like if Facebook goes down or if Instagram goes down, we're not paying for the service. Yeah. So get over it, move on with your life at social media. Now, if you're paying for a service that you use for your business, you can understand the frustration. So that's why I was trying to ascertain where business is affected. So for example, and the reason I was thinking about it so in such a way is that I'm looking for an apartment, and the process of getting a realtor to respond to you is entirely reliant on WhatsApp.
I know for that for sure. However, of course, that just like shows me that we are all the time on our phones. And we actually depend so much on this square little thing all the time. And it's just like frustrating to me, because like what happened to, I hate the fact that we depend on our phones and social media and WhatsApp and all of these things. And of course, I understand where the frustration is coming from.
But the phones, like, I agree we shouldn't rely on social media so much, but the phones facilitate ease of business, which, like, we need them.
That's true. We do need them. But, I mean, it's like, why are we... it happens, you know what I mean? And people are so frustrated. And the thing is, like, I understand, because you get so angry and you want to fight with someone, and the first thing that you want to, the first person, that you would want to fight with is the service people.
Yes, that's the worst. If you take your frustration out at a customer service person, you are the worst.
It's exactly like, what does it have to do with them? What can they do? Like, Nothing.
Right.
So just like calm down and ease it up. Of course, you know, you can maybe make the call later on, or maybe send a WhatsApp message later on and be like, hey, sorry, the phone, I don't know, the service was off, did not work. I had some technical issues. They will understand. I would hope.
Well, I don't think so. I'm seeing some comments coming through giving, throwing shade. I agree people should calm down, but I get that it's the business requirement that's the frustration. Like if it's something personal, if it's social media, move on with your life. But if it's the business requirement and if it literally affects your way to do business, I understand where the frustration comes from. 8:45, let's jump into Abras are having a major futuristic revamp.
Which is very amazing, you guys. Dubai trials world's first 3D printed public transportation Abras. The Abras have the longest monocoque structure created using 3D printing technology. And this method will reduce Abra manufacturing time by 90%, slash manufacturing costs by 30%, and cut operation and maintenance expenses by 30%.
How amazing if this trial comes through. So the Abra will be operated at the Sheikh Zayed Road Marine Transport Station on the TR6 line on a trial basis. So I'm not sure if it's open to the public, but this specific Abra was built using 3D technology, and it just it's mind-blowing to me because I can't fully understand how it works, because in my mind 3D printing, it builds like paper style structures rather than structures that can go into the water.
Exactly, or hold people, because like we know that Abras, they are part of the UAE's cultural heritage. If you guys don't know, back in the old days, they used to use Abras to extract the pearls, which is, the UAE is very prominent and known for that, of course. And this is the first 3D printed Abra, and all I'm thinking about is, what are the people who still, because pearl extraction is still actually used and still actually practiced till this day as part of the cultural heritage, and I'm thinking like, will it actually hold people? I would like to believe it will. I would like to believe that it will.
I'm pretty sure it's a trial basis, like it's already on the water.
It is, so, but I would still fear it, because as you said, like you would use the 3D printing to, interior designers use it to, I would say, print their modules for university and all of these things, and their structures and their projects and so on.
And there's structures down in DIFC that are made from 3D printing as well, which you can see, but it's still mind-boggling to me. But if that's the case, like what else can you build with 3D printing?
That's true.
I always think about how Farah and I talk about the future, because it's like we're always like, no, I don't like that. That scares me. I'm not going to, like, space exploration, not for me. And if someone ever looks back on this show in like 100 years, we'll be the people who are like, no, I don't like the future. And then it will be the future, and we'll look like absolute dopes. But that's okay.
But it is what shows us that, you know what, the UAE is, I would say, developing and moving forward with technologies and so on. So I don't know. Well, if you guys try it out, let us know.
Yeah, 100%. Report back, please.
Yes.
Let's jump into our next story. We have an amazing story about a community group who has sent their 5th bus of workers to Umrah. So this is in an inspiring act of generosity. 48 labourers will be set to perform their first Umrah, embarking on a 1-week trip to the holy cities of Medina and Mecca. This life-changing journey is made possible by the incredible efforts of Umrah for Labour Workers, which is an organisation founded by the compassionate Sophie Adas and also Dubai Bling's very own Fadi Musalat.
It's heartwarming to see the community come together. Residents can contribute to any amount to help make a worker's dream come true. Thanks to the generosity of so many, this group is now on their way for a transformative experience.
So amazing. So you might know Fadi from Dubai Bling, but his big heart is what truly sets him apart. So as one of the driving forces behind the Giving Family, which is a grassroots charity, I'm sure you've heard about it, which focuses on delivering meals to those less fortunate during Ramadan. His dedication to giving back is nothing short of inspiring, and this is one more movement where people can donate, and basically giving the trip of, as you said, a transformative experience, trip of a lifetime, to those who can't afford it. So if you are interested, Umrah for Labours, you can get in touch with them on Instagram and just see how you can help.
Of course, Umrah is every Muslim's dream. I can assure that it's my dream as well. I would love to go to Umrah. But, of course, workers and the fact that this act is happening and Fadi Musallat is actually helping a lot of workers do achieve their dream is just like beautiful. Of course, he is not showing off or so whatever, because we know that in Islam, if you are doing good and you're doing well, you should keep it quiet because it's a good deed, and the good deed would only count if you're doing it in the quiet. So, of course, we are only saying that because you guys, it's beautiful. You know, what would you, if this happens, we would want to share it with you guys because you guys need to as well help. And of course, keep it quiet to yourselves. But it's a beautiful deed, honestly, and I love it so much. It's everyone's dream to go to Umrah.
100%. Yes, so you can see more of that story on our feed if you would like. Now it is 8:51 on a Tuesday morning, which means we have Decisive Zone back in the hot seat. We're talking about the latest visa updates, visa types, also new ones emerging that you may not have heard of. So do stay tuned. We will be chatting with Decisive Zone after this very short break.